Guys, it's your girl Bodacious back with another video. As you can see from the title, we're going to be ranking my 2021 palette purchases. If that's something you'd be interested in, be sure to subscribe to my channel where we talk beauty, follow me on my fragrance journey, and other things that, come to mind. Okay, so this video, we're going to be talking about the palettes that I purchased in the 2021 year. Now, these aren't necessarily palettes from 2021. They could be palettes, they might even be palettes from 2019. Some of them are older palettes. They're just palettes I purchased. I'm not including palettes that we got in our subscription boxes. I'm going to do a separate ranking of those palettes. This is just the palettes that I got with my money in 2021. Now, I didn't do as much purchasing as I have in the past because honestly, I have a lot of palettes and there's not very many that draw me in to purchase them anymore. It's partly too why I am now like focused and zeroed in on building up my fragrance collection and just discovering scents, because I have a pretty good palette collection. I'm pretty happy with it. There's only a few. I think I will do a video about the ones that I haven't gotten yet that I'm really interested in, because there's a few brands that I would like to try and support. But right now, I feel pretty good. So I have 25 palettes that I purchased this year, and we're gonna go through and rank those. So at the very bottom is this palette's at the very bottom just because I bought it and I haven't used it, and I just haven't been inspired by it, and it's this Pinky Rose. Part of me wonders, like, guys, this kind of looks a lot like the I got this from BoxyCharm pop-up. It was, like I said, a really good price. And, I like blues and purples, and so the blues and purples, and then there was a couple colors in green that I just kind of seemed new for me. But I just don't, when I want a blue or a green, I just haven't grabbed this. So I literally haven't used this, and it's only at the bottom because I don't even know what to say about it. The next one is another one that I haven't been inspired to use. And actually, the moment I opened it up and I got it, I thought, why did I buy this palette? And that is the Colourpop Powerpuff Girl palette. I know why I bought it, because it's super stinking cute and it's the Powerpuff Girls. But I should have known that these colors are not going to do anything on my skin tone at all. And when I looked at it closer, I thought, like, I swear it looked a little bit more vibrant. And it just wasn't when I got it. And quite frankly, it's how I've been feeling a lot about Colourpop. I kind of just am not, you can't return anything to them. And I just feel like as much as their presentation is attractive and their prices are good, I just feel like for the most part, their palettes just don't really perform particularly on me as well. Like, I have some that I love. There are still some Colourpop that I love, but it's going to take a lot for me to go out and grab one. Now, I have been looking at that Fox one. I missed it, and I kind of am looking at that because, again, I like grays, but again, I go back to, like, they look like they're going to be good, but then when I get them, the colors look kind of ashy on me, and that's happened with me with a few of their palettes. So that's this one. Like I said, I haven't even swatched this one. But, spring will come, and I think I'll try and get some use from it then. The next one is another one that I got this from the BoxyCharm pop-up. It's Opv Tropical Dreams. I think it's such a pretty palette. Opv is a Black-owned brand. So that was one of the reasons that also intrigued me about wanting to support and try to buy the palette. I got this palette though, when the time of year I got it, I just haven't had the time to really use this palette. We're kind of into fall, and so I've only used it one time. Now, I do feel like some of the mattes are hit or miss. I have another palette that we got in a BoxyCharm from this brand. I got something else from them. I feel like the products are like hit or miss for them, honestly. But I'm going to use this more in the summer. It's Tropical Dreams, obviously, so I'll get some use of this in the spring. All right, and this other one I got from the BoxyCharm pop-up was Ace Beauté Oceanic palette. Now, I've been wanting this palette for some time. And of course, it has the color story that is really attractive to me. Now, they have changed their formula. I have one palette. I believe this one palette I have has a new formula that's further up in my count. Not, you know, counting these down because I'm doing these live. I just put all the palettes in front of me and I'm kind of making these decisions. Like, I just put these together right now. This is really raw, guys. So, I do like this palette. I do feel like the mattes are a little hard, but blue mattes are not easy. Like, I just did a look today with one of the palettes that I also like this further up. And blue can sometimes just be really tricky. And when I just haven't been grabbing this lately. I got it because, again, like, I like the blues and the greens, but I just need to test it out. I just love the color story, but I need to use this. So putting it where it's at is mostly just based off of just limited familiarity with it. All right, now the rest of these are ones that I like all of them. And I would say yeah, for the most part, I wouldn't say I dislike this one. Like I said, I don't know enough about it. The rest of these, well, maybe I shouldn't say that. Because the rest of these are all palettes I like, but that's not true. This next set, it was really hard for me to know where I want to put these, but I have to put these here. They were the quads. I'm putting them all together. The quads from Juvia's Place. We have the Rebel Army, the Rebel Honey, the Rebel Mints, and the Rebel Grays. Yeah, I just think, like, for the most part, where sometimes I don't like too big of a palettes, I feel like quads might just be too small. I just feel like it's like a one-trick pony, and the mattes are like, I don't know, like in this one, I kind of wish there was a lighter matte, but then you can work these two together, but this one, I just feel like I really can't get a full look out of it. It's too light. And then, you know, I gotta put these together. And even with the grays, I love gray palettes, but I feel like, I don't know what it is about this one, but it doesn't give me the gray I'm looking for. Like, this one is too light. I don't know. This one's not, it's not what I'm looking for. And so I find I usually have to go into another palette, or I pick another palette with grays in it. Like, I prefer the coral palette that has the corals and the grays. I prefer the grays in that palette to the grays in this palette. And this one is, I feel like if I would have had this for vacation, this probably would have been nice for me to take on vacation, because I wasn't really doing very much with my eyes on vacation. And I probably will enjoy this one more in the summer, but I just kind of, these just weren't that big of a deal to me, basically. And I haven't really gotten much. I might be burning out a little bit on Juvia's Place. I got so many of their palettes, and I'm glad that they switched it up. I understood why they switched up what they were offering, but more of the 6 pans, more of the quads, but I am just like, yeah, I'm just kind of getting a little tired, and I feel bad about that. I'm gonna try to use some, I'm not like the holiday palette, the 6 pan they just came out with isn't bringing me in. Again, I told you guys I'm kind of burning out just in general because I have a lot of colors. So that was that. Next, I will put this Eternal Bloom palette from Artist Couture. I got this as part of a bundle with another Artist Couture palette that I definitely have further up. But I got this as a little pastel palette. I have with me having the ice cream Dream or Ice Cream palette from Glamlight, when I'm really looking at getting pastel or something, I pulled that palette out, and so I less likely grab this palette. But I think it's a nice enough palette. I just gave you the explanation for that. All right, so next is this Colourpop Lush Life palette. I do like this palette. I will say that. I will say this was a nice one for me from Colourpop. The colors are nice and rich. It's a good summery palette. I expect I'll use it a lot more come spring and summer. And that's the Lush Life palette. So next up is the Sweet Shop Pistachio palette. I didn't get this palette when I got my, I have 3 other Sweet Shop palettes. I wasn't able to get this one. It was sold out. So I was able to get it when they had the restock after the new year. And so that's what I did with that. The funny thing is, as much as I wanted this palette, I barely have used this one. And I like green palettes, but when I want to use a green palette, I tend to grab my avocado toast palette, also from BH Cosmetics, or I have another palette. I have a couple other palettes with greens in them that I tend to grab. I don't know. Like, I like this deep green, this cone or cup color, but the greens, the other greens, these mattes don't really do it for me. So my hands look so bad. But yeah, so that's the Sweet Shop Pistachio palette. I know that was a big one. People loved it, and probably a year ago it might have been at the top of my list, but I have found it less. I've grabbed it less. Another palette that I really do like, but is I haven't used a lot. I don't know why it's chipped. Is the Serenity palette from Menagerie. This was in partnership with Annette here on YouTube. This palette challenges me. Like, the color story, the colors are beautiful, and I did really like that I have been able to like, I did a really pretty green look, and I did a really pretty green look with this palette. But this palette, like I said, it challenges me because the colors, they're so different. And I just find it a challenging palette. But it was my first Menagerie palette. I wanted to try something from Menagerie. I really like their formula. So I'm glad I was able to do this, get this. And I would like to get other palettes from them as well. I don't know how I got this chip. It's like I opened it and it was like, I have another palette that kind of weirdly chipped like this. I don't know why. But I'm also putting this together as a set. And this is the Glamlight Viva Taco palette and the Glamlight Street Taco palette. Glamlight often has bundles, and I've been taking advantage. I really just bought my first Glamlight palette last year, and that was the ice cream palette. And that palette sold me on Glamlight. And so I've gotten quite a few Glamlight palettes now in my collection. I really like their formula. At first, I didn't really like the food thing. The food thing turned me off. But now I'm okay with the food thing. It's like a little different thing. And but this is what this palette looks like. Again, adding something to my collection. I like these reds. I don't grab this one as much. I don't know why. I mean, it's not like I'm wearing a lot of colors often, guys. I mean, that's really it. But these are good quality palettes. Next, I will have to say is a set, another set. These are not quads, these are 9 pans. And they were I had got 3 of the BH Cosmetics, I should have wiped these down, BH Cosmetics Say It collection. I have the Low Key Love You, Looking Like a Snack, and the Do Not Disturb. I didn't get all of the palettes in this collection just because I felt like I had the colors. I don't even know why I necessarily got this one. I don't grab this one. Out of all 3 of them, I grabbed this one the least. I mean, the colors are a little different, but I just haven't really grabbed that one. And I don't feel like when I have grabbed it, I didn't like how the matte showed up on me. I remember that. The other 2 I really do like and I have used is Do Not Disturb. It's very different color story, and this as well, like a snack It's really a different one too, and I really do like it. I just like them. There's nothing I really have to say more about that. Another palette, These next two palettes, these aren't the same. I guess I'm gonna have to make a decision on which one I like more than the other. Actually, no, I'm gonna go one more first. I'm gonna take another BH Cosmetics palette. I would think, you know, last year I think I bought a ton of Juvia's Place palettes. I also bought some BH Cosmetics, actually, but BH Cosmetics has really been like a go-to for me. Between them and Glamlight, those have been the ones who've been sucking me in. BH to me has such good quality for such a good price. And I was drawn into this Lunar New Year palette, and I really have been using it a lot. I didn't break nothing. I've been using it a lot. I use it at Halloween. I've used it. I like this red. I just like this palette. Now this was a limited edition. I don't know if they even I don't think they have it left any longer. So sorry to show you it, but it is one of the palettes I got this year. And yeah, I really like this palette. Next up would be, I've been on this neutral kick, guys, honestly. And these next three palettes are neutral palettes. These next two are very similar. In fact, I'm having a hard time deciding which one I prefer. But I think based off of the formula, I'm gonna go with the other one. So the first one is this One Size palette by Patrick Starr. I got this palette technically the last week of December. It's part of like after holiday sales, but I couldn't really include it in my 2020 because I didn't even use it until the following year. So that's when I used it. So this is kind of but I bought this. I think this is a really good palette. I do not like this matte blue, although blues are difficult, and I'm finding that blues can be difficult in every palette. I feel like this one is a really dry. Now it works, don't get me wrong, but I don't like how it shows up on me. It's just like a underwhelming blue. And so for it to be this palette with this pop of blue in it, the blue is underwhelming. The other palette that I got was the Supreme Nudes. And I love this palette, but I'm telling you, if you have this palette, you don't need this palette, right? Because you get a few, they're very similar. I mean, right? Eerily similar, except for like this one has the blue. Now they have a new one out that looks lovely. It has some orange and it has a blue. And I do like the formula of the Artist Couture. You know, people raved about the Artist Couture one. But like I said, I had gotten this one first. And I think this is pretty good. This Patrick Starr palette is good, pretty much. I feel like the colors on these are very, like this color and this color. This green and this green. He has a shimmer green. He has a shimmer green. Like these palettes are really similar. Only thing that's different is that this is a nice icy kind of blue shimmer. Like I said, I don't like the blue, and he has a black. That is nice to have a black. I think they're really similar palettes. I don't know why Patrick's doesn't get any love because his is on sale. It was on sale really quickly, and I don't know what that means. But I do like both of these, and I've been on this search for like the best neutral palette, and this is a really good one. I mean, they're both good. This is a really good one. And another neutral palette that I got that I actually like a lot because it's warmer. The neutrals are warm. Is this one from Ace Beauté called Floral Vintage. I got this in BoxyCharm pop-up. And I like these shimmers. They have those kind of wet shimmers. I don't know what that's called, but those tend to look good on my eyes. Look smoothing. I probably actually would put this below the Patrick Starr and the Artist Couture. So technically, I'm doing a swap and I'm putting these this way. This one, then this one, then this one. I do, like I said, I do want to get the other Supreme Nudes. These are good. These are good. All right, so we're down to 4 more palettes. I have... Actually, I am going to keep these 2 together. This last one, this is another BH Cosmetics palette. I kept on thinking, like, I'm not going to get that palette. I'm not going to get it. It's a big palette. I don't like big palettes. But everybody kept hyping it up, talking about this palette is so good. And then they put it on clearance on sale for like a ridiculously low price. And I got it. And it was really good. It was one of the few palettes that I actually kept using. Like, there's a few palettes that I get that I want to use them daily. And I use this one daily for a few days. And that was the BH Cosmetics Naughty palette. Now, I do know they have one out for this holiday season that kind of looks similar, but kind of doesn't. I don't know. The colors don't look similar to me. And the funny thing about it is this color story did not draw me in. I was looking at this like, I wasn't drawn to it. But then when I use it, they're so good. Like if you're a person who doesn't have a lot of eyeshadows and you wanted a nice shadow thing to give you a nice piece, then I would, and you don't have this, you might want to get the current one that they have. I was watching Angelica and she said they're really similar. I don't know, like on the surface, they don't look similar. They don't look the same to me, but she said they are, so she has it, I don't have it. But yeah, like I would recommend getting this if you just want to have a slew of colors, but it's not like these aren't bright colors. The other one looked brighter to me. So that's what I'm only wondering, but these are nice colors. I think that's why I like it actually. These are like wearable colors. You can wear these to work. All right, and then the next is another duo of palettes. I picked up for the first time some palettes from Beauty Bay, and I really, really like these. If I was gonna put them in order, I would say this one would be next, and then this one would be on top of that, because these are nice. So this is what this one looks like. I don't know what happened here. I don't know when this got shifted. When I opened it up, I didn't see it, but somewhere it's shifted and broke. That's what I have on my eyes today. I felt like this was a little hard to work with. This is what made me think about blues being hard to work with. Like, this was not smoothing out the way I wanted it to. It was kind of hard, actually. That's why I started adding these purples, because it just wasn't coming on the way I wanted it to. And this is like a deep blue, but it just wasn't showing up on me the way I wanted it to at all. I really like these shimmers that they have in here. They also have those like putty shimmers that I like. But I do think that this Wilderness one, the color story on this one, is gorgeous. And I just really like it. So these are my number 3 and number 2. And then my number 1 palette that I purchased this year. Dun, 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 dun. My number 1 palette for 2021 that I purchased would have to be my Michaela Palette, Glam Light Cosmetics. I just love this palette, guys. Wait till you see it. Mind you, I got this palette this year. And this palette came out like in the spring of this year, and look at it. It is heavily loved by me. Like I just love it so much. You see, I hit pan here, I hit pan here. I mean, these are these jelly things, and they also have that formula that I like. But this palette, if I don't know what I'm gonna do, this is like a dumb reach palette. Like, I can just take this palette and make a look, and I don't have to think about it very much. And so, excuse all the alerts. So, yeah, I don't think there's much to say. I mean, it gives you everything you need. You have neutrals, like if I can do a neutral look. I can get some color. I can, like, she really did a great job curating this palette. If you don't have a palette, this would be all the palette you really need. If you're not a big palette person, not a big makeup person, but you like to do makeup once in a while, when you have a special occasion or something. I don't know what I'm showing back there. A mess. Sorry. If you like are a person who just like don't really have a big collection, you just want a good palette to have to, like, you know, for the special times you want to wear makeup, this is a good palette. If you're a person who just, you know, you don't want it, it must be, you don't need a ton of palettes, you know, this is me, I'm a collector of things. If you're not a big collector of things, but you just want a good solid palette in your collection, I think this is a really good solid palette. Like, I don't think you can go wrong with this. It's just so nice. And it'll allow you to be neutral and have a simple look. But if you want to feel a little adventurous one day, you want to put a pop of color in your eye, in your corner, you know, you just want to wear one color, this is a good palette for that. Yeah, so that's my favorite palette that I purchased in 2021. All right, well, let me know what you think of this video. Let me know what your favorite palette for 2021 was. My hair. And I hope you guys have a great, great day. Great rest of the week. Okay, guys. Bye.